What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? Part 2. Every year we make Christmas paella. Edit, I'm far from an expert. But we make a seafood, clams and shrimp, and meat, chicken and sausage, paella mixta. I understand that's pretty touristy but, well, we're American. So the shoe fits. Also nothing makes it Christmas besides eating it on Christmas. There is no turkey or ham. And the clams don't start singing Deck the Halls when they open or anything. We tip my grandma over in her chair, carefully. We couldn't do it last year because she moved her chair to be against the wall. And we can't do it this year because of COVID. But regardless, it is our tradition. Alongside svensenksa, no idea how to spell it. Which is just Polish sausage, pierogi, and rye bread and butter. Very fun. My brother and I were hungry one year and our parents, where we celebrate Christmas, lives very close to a gas station, where they sell surprisingly good hot dogs. So we went to get one each. My sister-in-law thought it was so ridiculous. So she snapped a picture. Now it's tradition for us to go get a hot dog and pose for the yearly Christmas hot dog picture. My dad and I haven't been together on Christmas in at least over 10 years. Every year on Christmas we take a walk and call each other and talk to each other about our neighbors' Christmas lights and which ones are our favorite, etc. My husband and I celebrate Bookmas. On December 26th we get all of the book money people sent us for Christmas and buy a giant stack of books. Then we go home, change into our PJs and spend the day reading books, drinking hot chocolate, and eating some of the snacks people gave us for Christmas. Every year everyone in my immediate family buys each other a Christmas tree ornamented. Now our tree is covered with good memories that actually have meaning. I don't know if anyone else find it interesting, but in my family we don't open presents until after the Queen's speech. We're not royalist, but it's _tradition _. But it's worth the wait because it makes the Christmas feeling last longer. My family has a tradition of leaving riddles on cards and guessing what the gift is before opening. We go around one by one, reading our hint out loud so everyone can guess. Then open it and show the room. Ends up taking like 5 hours for everyone to get through their gifts. But it's always a fun time. My grandmother gave us a blow-up Santa in an outhouse. My family thought it would look weird in our yard. So now we prank friends on Christmas Eve by putting it on the front door and waiting for them to see it. Edit, I checked Reddit this morning and this is the most upvotes I have ever gotten. Thank you. My brother and I stay at my mother's house on Christmas Eve with our families every year. We still sit at the top of the stairs on Christmas morning until my mother tells us we can come down to the living room to see what Santa left us. We're both in our 30s and our wives and kids now sit on the stairs as well. It's getting pretty crowded, but I wouldn't have it any other way. On Christmas Eve we're each given a present early. It's always pajamas, and once everyone has opened their present the pajama races begin. Everyone runs to their respective rooms and puts on their pajamas, then races back to the tree. There is no prize for the winner except bragging rights. Then there is a final present that has been wrapped multiple times with a ton of tape. We all stand around the kitchen table and attempt to unwrap it one at a time. Except you have to put on mittens and a Santa hat before attempting to unwrap it. The person to your left is rolling dice, and if they get doubles then you stop trying to unwrap it and pass the mittens and hat to them so they can try. This game becomes very loud and fast, so you need to keep on your toes. It keeps going around in a circle until someone is successful. The gift is always a board/card/dice game, and we play the game until it's time to go to bed. My siblings and I are all grown now. But we'll probably continue to play this with our parents until we have spouses to bring home, then make them play as well. My best friend and I started a tradition of celebrating Christmas Eve together. Actual day is a little loose on interpreting based on life. We switch it up each year, but we always dress up in Christmas outfits. Have dinner, some kind of activity, and a movie. At dinner we also exchange a book we picked for the other that we wrote a personal note inside. Then afterwards, we create a magnet for each other of our favorite photo from the night. We have signs all over our house spelling out Leon instead of Noel. It started out as a joke because my dad is dyslexic. But it stuck, and we even named our dog Leon, and we've been doing it since I can remember. Every year my wife and I buy an ornament for our tree that corresponds with something that happened that year. So we have a tree filled with all of these weird wacky ornaments like a tennis ball. We started playing tennis that year. Swedish chef, Europe trip. Ship Captain Nutcracker, our first cruise. Amongst many others. It's such a fun tradition in December to debate what we to get and then finding something. And then reliving them all when we put them up. On Christmas Eve we open one present each. Then the rest on Christmas Day. Not a family tradition. As much as it's something that I just decided everyone has to do a few years ago. Everyone makes plates for someone else in the family. No one is allowed to get food and drinks for themselves. It reminds my kids that even little gestures show appreciation for those around you. And to not be selfish when it comes to making others feel loved. In my small hometown in West Germany. In the morning of 24. The people used to gather at the marketplace. With all pubs opened for that occasion. And get absolutely wasted. It's a pretty fun come together. Where we used to meet old friends once a year. Before we went to our families for the big dinner and the more traditional Christmas stuff. Obviously with COVID this can't happen this year. Sad times. Can't open gifts in my house until you have a mimosa to drink. Kids get OJ but I started sneaking champagne around 15. My great-grandfather was making a Christmas ham many years ago and while taking it out of the oven my great-grandmother's water broke and he dropped it. So now every year we have a ham LOL. Traditions have come and gone in my family over the years thanks to the deaths of various family members. But the one that has remained for almost 100 years is that everyone in the family, whether they're born into it or marry into it, gets a hand-knitted stocking for their first Christmas with the family. This will be the first year that I don't have mine. I left it at my dad's house last year thinking I would be celebrating with him again this year, and it's been super weird. As soon as this pandemic is over, and we can once again have Christmas gatherings, my sister and I can get back to smacking the hell out of each other with cardboard wrapping paper tubes. We're in our 50s. BTW. My dad's mom used to read Santa Mouse to me and my cousins. It was a book about Santa's helper who was a mouse. So for my whole life we have left out milk and cookies for Santa. And cheese and crackers for Santa Mouse. In return Santa Mouse would put gift cards or cash into the tree itself. So after opening presents you hunt in the tree for Santa Mouse's gifts. Definitely a tradition I will carry on to my kids down the road. We meet up with some friends in a park and launch model rockets while drinking hot chocolate or coffee with booze. Been going on for over 20 years. My parents were broke when I was a kid. But you'd never know it from Christmas. They always went all out. Put money on credit cards. Etc. One Christmas we were particularly broke. But Dad went out and spent, probably most, of his paycheck on last-minute gifts. When we got home, my mom had been with us all day and since there was no money, she hadn't gone food shopping. All we had were some cheap hot dogs and canned beans. My parents put the beans in a pot over the fire, grabbed the hot dog cooker from when we went camping, and threw the dogs on over the fire too. My sister and I loved it so much. We did it again the following Christmas. Eventually we weren't quite so poor. The $2 ANP hot dogs became Nathan's. Then Saborites. Then butcher bratwursts. The beans went to B&M, then eventually fancy gourmet shit. But my sister and I are now adults with our own families. And even on years where we're not together, our entire family has hot dogs and beans on Christmas Eve. Edit, thanks for all the kind comments everyone. And thanks for my first Reddit silver too. Since my family won't be spending the holidays together, this really brightened my day. Merry Christmas. Edit 2, wow. My first gold. Thanks again everyone, glad you all enjoyed hearing about our holiday tradition. Merry Christmas. Edit 3, a platinum. Thank you so much. I truly can't believe it. Merry Christmas. Every Christmas the kids in the house have wrapping paper put over the entrances to their rooms so they get to rip through it in the morning. It originally started as a way to keep a certain kid in when he kept coming out early and opening presents before everyone was awake. I'm a dad with 4 kids. All still in kid phases of life. We also relocated to an area where we have no friends or family, so we've made some new ones recently. December. Buy a new building for a growing Christmas village. Christmas Eve. Video call with each set of grandparents. Open grandparent gifts. My wife gives the kids pajamas as her special gift to them. Christmas Day. Up at the ass crack of dawn. Toys and chaos. Wife and I make a huge spread of breakfast foods like biscuits and gravy, Southern style. Go Etta, wife is from the 513. Meats. And then eat through it all day long as we watch movies ranging from Home Alone to Godfather. Every year my family buys each other member a gag/joke/small gift. Then writes a poem about it. For the recipient to read on Christmas Eve. It's probably the highlight of the entire season for me. As it's always filled with laughter at how terrible we all are at poetry. No matter how old we all get. This is a really fun way to bring everyone back to that root joy of spending time together. This year it will be virtual but still fun. Thanks for watching.